So this video was definitely unexpected, but I'm gonna make it anyway, so let's get to it. So day one of the Pokemon World Championships happened yesterday, and the most unexpected thing happened. Apparently, there was a player who got disqualified for having Gen Pokemon because he didn't have Sword and Shield or Legends Arceus. This is the same dude who quote-unquote stole Wolfglick's team. For one, I'm seeing people on this thread saying it was deserved for quote-unquote stealing Wolfie's team, and those are literally unrelated, but a bigger issue is that he needed a separate game in order to get Pokemon. Isn't that normal though? Well, it's not. From 2014 to 2022, in order for a Pokemon to be VGC legal, you would have had to attain it within that generation. For example, if you wanted to use a Garchomp in Gen 6, you would have needed the Pentagon origin mark for you to use it. This was due to players accessing Pokemon that would be otherwise hard to legitimately obtain in the past, such as Heatran with Eruption, Follow Me Magmar, or literally any other Pokemon that was viable, but you couldn't obtain it in the Generation 5 games without transferring. In 2023, they lifted up this rule, but I can see why this rule was implemented in the first place. Going back to Brady Smith's post, Helian and Urshifu and Landorus. We could actually attain both of them in the same game. Problem is, you have to spend $90 in order to get those Pokemon yourself. And I can already hear you saying, why not just get them from a trade? Well, firstly, the Pokemon company recommends you get your own Pokemon on your own. Secondly, if you're a new player, you may not have Sword or Shield or PLA, and you don't really know anything about the VGC community, so you'd have to ask a random person to trade their legendary, which most are hesitant to do anyways. Most people that are shitting on the players who got disqualified definitely haven't played VGC in their lives and don't have a respectable opinion on this matter. How are people supposed to take you seriously when you think genning is cheating, which it technically isn't, and then say, oh, it's easy to build Pokemon in game, and then the next second they say they don't play VGC because they say, well, it's too hard to learn and build everything. If you picked up VGC, play on ladder to hit Master Ball tier, or played on an online tournament, then talk to me. Like I said in the previous video, genning is a time and money saver. This philosophy is comparable to buying a bitch's OnlyFans for $29.99 when the hub is free. And this is most people's first generation playing VGC, so they might have skipped out on playing Sword and Shield or PLA. Speaking of which, let's do some math. To get certain meta-defining Pokemon, you would need to pay $90 for Sword and Shield, and a DLC by the way, and $60 for Legends Arceus, making you have to spend $150 minimum to get the best Pokemon in the metagame right now. It's even worse if you want to use Trick Room Team, you'd have to spend time resetting for a 0 IV Enamorus on a separate fucking game, mind you. Now, even though I'm all for genning, unfortunately, the players who did gen should have brought legitimate Pokemon, because not only you're competing in the World Championships, but you're also in Japan, the same country you can get arrested for simply modifying video games. So thank goodness you aren't getting investigated. What makes it more uncanny is that there are people legit trying to speedrun through a game just to get a Pokemon legitimately at the World's venue. I'm honestly at a loss for words on this. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.